I think this is twofold. I think this is certainly diplomatic and political, but there are also some obvious trade advantages for Saudi Arabia in terms of its relationship with Pakistan. The most eye-catching of the trade deals is the investment in the Gwadar refinery, and plainly for Saudi Arabia, investments in overseas refineries does give it some guarantees in terms of selling oil, so that's very important. But also, you're right, the political dimension here with MBS, something of a pariah in the West at the moment, is pivoting east. And places like Pakistan, India, China, the destinations for this tour are all fast growth, high population countries with very good long-term prospects, and I'm sure that Saudi is taking a great interest in developing those political and trade ties as it finds relationships with the West getting more difficult at this time.
And one thing we talk about a lot on this show is the Saudi 2030 vision. I just wonder, in your view, how important it is to have the buy-in from the East in terms of executing on this vision?
Yeah, Saudi's 2030 vision plans are very ambitious, and it is not going to achieve those goals without FDI, without foreign direct investment from overseas. Plainly, investor appetite in the West is at something of a low at the moment, and indeed FDI into Saudi is historically very low, just 1.4 billion in 2017, and that's down from highs of 35 billion plus just 10 years ago. So perhaps the relationships with India and China in particular are as much about bilateral trade, about as much as getting investment from India and China into Saudi Arabia, investments in some of Saudi's privatization programs, as they are about Saudi investing in those economies as well.
And Robin, I think that speaks as well, I think, to the energy situation as well, because Ali Al-Naimi, the former energy minister of Saudi Arabia, was really the one that pivoted the country eastward way back, spending a lot of time in Asia, really focused on trying to build those bridges, build those economic ties. But I would ask you then, in terms of what happens next with Mohammed bin Salman, you mentioned that most people in the West today consider him to be, quote, a pariah. It's something that we heard reflected here at the Munich Security Conference as well. And when I speak to Saudi officials on and off the record, I'm asking again and again, at what point do you guys address the sort of tunnel vision that we're seeing coming out of Saudi Arabia since the murder of Jamal Khashoggi? Because at the end of the day, when I'm sitting in front of a pool of investors, they want to get in Saudi Arabia, they want to take advantage of all of the deals that could potentially be had in terms of those billions of dollars worth of infrastructure and industry that they're trying to bring on to the fore in Saudi Arabia. The one worry that they seem to have there is that one of rule of law. What's your take?
Yeah, Saudi is a big prize. It's a large economy with a fast-growing population, but it comes with a lot of political and reputational risk at the moment. I think Saudi is not immune from criticism, and it doesn't like criticism. We saw how it overreacted to criticism from Canada. We saw it have something of a diplomatic spat with Germany not so long ago as well. And I think Saudi can be pretty sure that it is likely to face less overt criticism from governments and media in the East, and I think it will enjoy that relative immunity from criticism over there. The Saudis, I think, are hopeful that the Western economies will forget, if not forgive them, over what happened with Khashoggi. But I think plainly there is going to be some medium-term damage in those relationships, and don't underestimate that reputational risk as organisations and governments tread very carefully in their relations with Saudi.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.